Alright, g'day guys. Today we're going to be having a look at Campaign Cartographer 3 Plus. Going to be basically creating a simple overland map by tracing in a pre-existing concept image. There's a gentleman called Bradley Johnson who posted a lovely little sketch up of a map he'd done, and he looked like he'd done it in one of the paint applications, basically manually using a mouse to draw everything out. And basically we're going to be taking that image today and putting it into CC3 Plus and seeing what we can do with it. So let's have a look. Now here's the original image. All right, as you can see, I actually really quite enjoyed this one for its simplicity. It's basically been drawn out with some very simple features. We're going to be taking this image and putting it into CC3 Plus. So how do we do that? First, we've got a new map and we're going to do a new overland map. We're going to basically come along here and pick a style. All right, there's lots of different styles you can get, obviously, depending on what packs that you've got. I'm going to use Mike Schlee's Overland. I really quite enjoy that one. We're going to use the background as a water. I probably don't need a big width on this one, so we'll go like this. And then we'll click Finish. All right, we need to save it. All right, and here we go. We've got a nice base sheet to work with. Now, the first thing we're going to do is actually bring in the original image to trace. And the way I did this is I added a new sheet effect. I called it Trace. And you can see it's down the bottom there. And then what I did is I came to Draw and I clicked Insert File. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Draw, Insert File. Sorry, need a bit more sleep. Quick access, pictures, there's the original. All right, then we draw this picture in. All right, we drag it out to the size we want it to be. All right, and you can see that's there. Now, the reason why I put a sheet effect on is I can now do this. I can come along and I can hide it, and it's gone. Okay, so this is using the sheet effects up the top. We're going to show all. And what we're going to do is we're going to draw in the land. All right, so we're going to come over here. We're going to draw a landmass. We'll grab a landmass. We're going to draw it in. Now we're going to start at the actual edge of the map. So middle mouse click, by the way, to move around. Scroll in, scroll out with just the mouse. I'm going to start up here. I'm going to click. And then I'm going to do lots of little clicks as I do this. Now, when you're doing this, sometimes, how can I show you this? All right, like that. See how I've drawn a line, and you can see I'm pressing spacebar, and that changes. That's going to be important as you watch me do this, okay? Because sometimes the line that it automatically draws, and it's trying to fragment it so it looks a little bit more realistic, isn't always going to be the one you want. So just doing lots of little clicks here just to sort of build around and draw this landmass. See that one there? I don't like that. I want that to curve back in. So wherever you see one that you don't really like, that's automatically coming in. So if it's too sharp a turn, just press space until you get something that's workable. It is obviously detailed work, but we'll go back one. All right, so almost there. All right, then we're going to go down to the bottom. We're going to click here. Then we're going to come all the way over to the bottom. Now, see here, I need to basically make this landmass fill up the rest of the map. So if I click here, I'm going to make a very bad effect. I'm going to create more of a line. So I'm pressing the up and down arrows. And what I do is the up and down changes all the fragmentation, basically. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but it works. So then we come and we click in the corner, go right up to the top, click in that corner, and then come and join up. All right, once we're done, right click, and you can see we've now got our landmass. Okay, now you can see the image is still over it. The reason why I've done this is obviously if I now hide the trace, I can see I've got my land. Okay, but we still want to keep this going because we're going to keep using it. You can see Bradley's put in his forests, he's put in his lakes, he's put in quite a bit. So we're going to basically come along and fill this in. And what we're going to use is we're going to find a forest tool. We'll use a mixed forest tool. Yeah, mixed forest will do. All right, and generally what we want to do is basically draw this out. I'll just show you an example, and right click, and it's going to draw the forest. Now, one thing there is you'll notice that my forest is quite small, and the map, obviously, that Bradley's created is of a higher scale. So we're going to try and basically come along and utilize that. I kind of want to turn that off, actually, because I want to delete you. All right, so we'll just delete all of that. All right, so now we want to come in and we want to bring in this tool. We're going to obviously need to bring in the scale. Actually, no, I didn't do it this way. I'm gonna show you the way I did do it. The map mixed forest tool, when you do it, it just basically pastes things. So I actually did this differently the first time I did it. What I did is I basically came along and I grabbed the mixed woods or the mixed forest, and I hold Control and I clicked in and out, and then I basically used this to create the forest. Now always clicking at the top and then coming down, and you'll see why as you start to see things like the woods come into effect. So I filled in my forest section. Now I'm going to come along and I'm going to grab probably just a few more little trees. Probably go a bit random. Oh no, we'll stick with the mixed. Alright, so you can see we fill this in. Simple, easy, quick. Alright, now we've got our forest. So now we'll go down and do the other ones. We'll use a different type of forest down here. We'll go a desert forest. You see this one gives a different effect. Now you know what before I said start at the top? You can see the tree trunks is Y. And tree trunks are great, but you want to override the ones that you can see as you move down. Probably still not great. There we go, that's better. Alright, we've got one more big wood to do. What else have we got? Go with jungle forest. Probably not going to have a jungle forest as close to that other type of forest, but just to show the different types of effects that we can get. Alright, just putting some randomly over just to break up the squares that you could see before. Alright, there we go. So now we've got our forest. And if we basically come back and we turn off our trace map, you see we've got our different forests. And different effects for everyone, obviously. And look, guys, I'm rushing this. You could absolutely go through and make sure that you are absolutely 100% satisfied with all of the positioning of the trunks and all that sort of thing before you proceeded. Completely up to you. Alright, so now we need a bit of a hill range. Just going to rotate this one a little bit. So it comes with a nice hill range already. I'm going to put some hills through this section. Alright, and then we're going to come along and we're going to use some mountains. We probably want some smaller mountains. What have we got? Probably put a nice, should put something really tall in there, I reckon. Small. Yeah, remember I said before, you want to start at the back and move forward, which I haven't done very well here, but it's certainly a better idea too. Alright, so we've got our little mountain range in there. Alright, now we need some cities, and the great thing is obviously we've got some cities in here, so we'll go a walled city for that city there. We can have a village. In there. Alright, now we need to deal with the lake. So what we're going to do here is we're going to be putting in some water. We'll go default. We're going to need to draw the lake in. So using the lake tool, draw around the lake. Just clicking here, left clicking. Now, you could use the river tool because he's got a nice wide river. What am I going to actually do? So I'm going to map out manually the river. I think that should give us a nice effect. Notice I just did some double clicks on the very end there, just to make sure it lined up properly. If you make a mistake, you can just press delete and go back and do it again. Alright, here we go. There we go. So we've got a nice lake with our river in it. And if we come along and we turn our trace map off, alright, we can see it's gone. Now, the reason why there is we've got to make sure that we get our C options right. And what I can imagine is if we auto hide everything else, we're going to see this is basically come up as a C. So we need to change this. We need it to be basically in front of land. Alright. So it could be a river, so we can change that to a river. So what we do is we're going to basically use the change functionality. We click on the edge, if we can get it. Did that work? No. I might just do a big grab. Grabbing the wrong ones. Come on, get the edge. This is probably one of the most painful things about this structure. Alright, I don't know if this has worked, but let's find out. Looks good. There we go. Alright, so all I did there was basically change the sheet that the river was on to make it work better. Okay, now you can see here we've basically got some issues. You can basically see that it's interconnected with the C, but hasn't quite gone as far as we need it to go. So we're going to basically use the node edit, and we're just going to move it out. There we go. All right. Cool. So that's done. That was rather easy. Notice down here we've got a bit of an issue as well. So let's change that. There we go. So we'll just move it just to make it smooth out. All right, now that looks a lot nicer. Now, if we turn our trace back on, you'll notice we need an island. So we use the landmass tool. And again, if you don't like anything in here, you just press space to smooth it out in the way that works for you. All right, and we'll turn off our trace and this should disappear again. There we go. Now the reason why that is, it's come through as a land. This is now a river. All right, so we need to have something that's a little bit higher than that. So I'm going to actually make one called island. Okay, I'm going to move the island just to be above the rivers. All right, I'm basically going to come along here. I'm going to auto hide everything except for this. No, it'll be land. I reckon land. Does that show you? It probably does, but let's see if it's under here. Island. There we go. So all we did there is we moved the island that we made into the island, which is basically sitting underneath the rivers. This is the bottom of the map. This is the top of the map. So you can basically see that this will now basically show above the rivers, which is what we wanted. Now, if we look at land, if we activate sheet and then we turn on land, we're going to see it has a bit of a glow. All right, so that's what we want our other one to have as well. So we're just going to go in and edit these. We can see, yep, that's cool. Effect presets. Okay, all right, so we just basically want to copy this over to our island section. All right, so we're going to add a glow. Add a glow. We want to basically go back and grab the same ones, so we're just going to have a quick screenshot of that. I often use screenshots for this situation. We'll come back here, we'll edit it. All right, so we're going 89, 114, 18, it's inside. Strength at 0, 2.5 units. And map units. Alright, so that's the first one. And then if we go back to land and we have a look at the second one, grab a screenshot of that as well. And we'll go back to our island and we'll edit the glow on this one. Alright, now what we have is we have the same effect on the island as what we have on the land, which is exactly what we wanted. Now we'll turn our sheet effects back off because it does make the computer run a bit of a challenge. Alright, we'll turn our trace back on. What else have we got left to do? So we're going to need some roads. We're going to need some bridges by the looks of it. Let's see what we've got in the way of bridges. It's going to use a bit of a rotate, as little as possible. Don't need anything else there. Alright, now we're ready for roads. And for this, we kind of want to have a look at where that is, but we'll hide this. We're going to come out of this road here. Alright. Yeah, you'd probably say that the road's width is not really enough there, and I'd probably agree with you. So if we have a look at major road, we'll go into advanced. How can we make this wider? Makes it a bit wider. Delete these. We'll do this again. We want wider roads. I want to try and get it to scale of what we were doing. Oh, here we go. How wide can we get it? Probably too wide. Looks a bit better. No, it doesn't. Alright, let's try that again. Let's try a 10. Yeah, still too much. I want to go down a bit. So I'm just right clicking on this button, by the way, to bring up the advanced options. So 10 was too wide. Let's go 5. Yeah, it's starting to get a bit better. Actually, you know what? I think they're still a bit too thick. Let's go 3. That's better. Now that city's way too small. So I'm going to bring in a bigger city. this we'll see actually. Do a refresh. Alright, now we'll get our roads back again. Alright, now if we have a look at our trace, I went straight up. Alright, now we've got our roads. So, let's go through and turn that off again. We've got our lake, we've got our cities, we've got our forests, we've got our coast. We're looking pretty good so far. We do need to add a car touch in. So what do we got? We've got a nice north here. Alright, the only thing really left is our text. So we'll come along here and we need Quinbrick. We'll have a look at our properties. What are we using? We're using Middle Ages. Just going to put that on the edge there. Now, see, that's come up as red. That's not really what I want. So we're going to make sure our color is set to black before we do this. And now this one should be black. Yep, there we go. All right, now we need one called the Dark Forest. We're going to do a multi-line, Shift Enter to go to the next line. Kind of want that centered though. Justify bottom center. There we go, we've got the Dark Forest. We need the Sea Breeze Forest. The Varish Woods. I'm going to do this as a multi-line because I think it'll fit better. Yeah, we got a sign saying to Bernesh. One for Sea Breeze. So as you can see here, I'm just filling this in. It doesn't take much. You can select whatever fonts you want. Probably going to turn this one off for this because I know that there's something in the way. Sea Breeze. Stonewall. Again, I'm just going to turn the trace off just so I can see it. Lake Oriana, and I think we got one left, which will be over to Queer. Alright, again, I'm just going to turn my trace off for this just to get this one right. Alright, probably a bit hard to see that one. Alright, now, one of the glaring things that stands out is the fact that you can't the text. Alright, you got black text here and it's just not working. So what we're going to do is actually going to go over to text. We're going to activate our sheet effects. All right, we're basically going to bring up some options here to see how it basically looks. So we've basically got an outer glow. We're going to put a white outer glow on it. What does that look like? Not much. I'm just playing here. I have no idea what this is actually going to do. Here we go. So let's maybe go that down a little bit. All right, there we go. So now we can basically put some bit of a white glow around it, and obviously you can play with that and make that as detailed or as undetailed as you like. I did just forget a map, a road. All right, there we go. Now, obviously, being Campaign Cartographer 3, you can go a bit further than just this. I mean, we've effectively replicated the original. I think we've done a pretty good job. If we turn that off. If we put them side by side, it's a pretty effective replacement for it. But why not use Campaign Cartographer 2 a bit more? We can put a ship in. We can put a coast outline in. Obviously, this is just the section that's meant to be a bit lighter. Oh, sorry, I did that wrong. So what I did wrong there is you meant to make it a section that goes inland as well. By that I mean I'll click here, then I'll click over here, come up, click here, and then join that back. All right, if I click refresh, basically comes back underneath because of the layer that the sheet is on. All right, so that's starting to look a bit better already. We can put a sea monster in. We can put maybe another ship coming down the coast. There might be a whirlpool out on one side. We can have some rocks. Press tab to change the different type of rocks. Alright, just make it look a little bit better. I think there's fish here somewhere. No, all good. You get the idea. Now, what else can we do? Shall we have a look at putting some farmland in? Alright, some nice farmland there, all around. When I did this the first time, I also put some farmland around the actual city. Alright, and as you can see, the farmland obviously looks quite good around the city there. And then you can use these symbols to sort of make it look a bit nicer. What do we got? We can put some... Obviously these aren't to scale, but the idea was being, you know, there's the fish I was talking about. Just there to make it look a bit cooler. Alright. So there we go. That's pretty much all we need to cover, guys, is, you know, we've traced a map in, we've used the tools at our availability to basically go ahead and replace the original requirements of the map with some symbols that look better. We played around with entering roads, we played around with entering rivers, we made a shoreline, and overall we've got a pretty effective map that I'd certainly be happy to use at my table. Alright, so Campaign Cartographer 3, it does have a learning curve. That's one thing you're always going to see people talking about in the forums. It's not the easiest tool to learn straight out, but you know, with a little bit of dedication, a little bit of time, you can pull off some amazing results with just a bit of effort. So there we go, guys. Hope this has been useful to you. Hope you use this to basically go away and make some really good looking maps. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them below. If you enjoyed these videos, please do subscribe. I try to get them out as often as possible. Apart from that, have a great day.